Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am Dr. Catherine E. James, and I have the privilege of coming to you having a conversation around emergent topics. And for those of you who've been journeying with us, you know that we've been having this topic since the beginning of COVID-19, since the beginning of COVID-20, and that we found it necessary to have a place to have an authentic, honest conversation about what's happening in our society. And so we've covered the gamut. We've talked to nurses and first responders. We've talked to teachers and administrators. We talked to those who had COVID, those who survived COVID. We've talked across the gamut, just sisters that were getting together, talking about Still I Rise. I mean, we have had every conversation you can imagine, but they've been relevant and they've been honest conversations because that's what we are here to do. That's what we're put on this earth to do, to have life-giving conversations. And so this evening, I for the month of February, right? And so we've dealt with Black History Month and the celebration of that. And February, we declared it in our community, we've declared it February to be Self-Love Month. It is a month where we are working diligently in loving ourselves and being on purpose about being the best version that we can possibly be. And so let me welcome you to our listening audience, to those who are engaging. They're already popping on. Hello, Sedana. Hey, Deveria Robinson. Nina. Hello, sis. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Time is one of the most precious things that we have, that we cannot get more of. And so whenever you take time to come to one of our conversations, we are eternally grateful. We so appreciate you. And what we can guarantee is that we are going to have an amazing time. So keep doing what you're already doing, conversing with us and sharing, and make sure you share and like and tag and invite somebody, because I am guaranteeing that tonight is going to be an amazing night. And so what tonight we have entitled it Love Personified. Love Personified. Beloved, have you ever been a place where you saw love walk in the room? When you saw in a person, you knew, you felt it, it was tangible, this experience of love in a person, right? So for those of us who believe in Christ, we know love is in Jesus Christ. And we have the privilege and the honor of meeting people who also personify love. And we have some of those individuals here tonight. When I was considering what topic we would discuss to end the month of love, these two couples came to mind. Not necessarily because they're couples, and because they're couples. So you'll see what I'm talking about. And so let's get started with the conversation. Dr. Joy P. Creel is our self-love resident specialist. She has a doctorate in self-love. Where you at, Dr. Joy? Where you at?
She's here. She's here.
Yeah.
Have no fear. She is here.
Absolutely. So, beloved, when it comes to taking care of yourself, when it comes to being the best you, when it comes to making sure that you have boundaries and all those kinds of things, a powerful no and a powerful yes, that's Dr. Joy. She can help you with that, right? That's you. That's her. That's her. So she is here to help me with this conversation. And we have some amazing, absolutely amazing individuals who I am privileged to serve with and to know and to be blessed by. So let's bring both couples on at the same time, both Brisa and Jason and Brandy and Ryan. Let's bring them up. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. My heart is so full. It is so full. Like, you guys don't even know what you mean to me. You don't know. So I'm going to reveal why you. So I'm going to start with Ryan and Brandy. So they have no idea this is the name that I have for them. So Joy, can you bring up that picture for me? This is their family. This is love personified. This is love personified. I call Ryan and Brandy and their family the first family. Oh.
Whoa.
When I think about you guys, when I, consider love walking and how you guys engage one another and how you care for your kids and how you're with them all the time and how you do everything within your power to make their growth and their expansion like the most life-giving experience, how you brought families, how you blended the family together and just made it. And so when I thought about love personified, I'm like, Ryan and Brandy, I can see if I can have them on. Thank you for taking time out. So you see the family, right? It's not a small family. And, so,
That's all.
Right.
A lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
A lot of mouths to feed. A lot of activity.
Yeah. And a lot of fun. A lot
of fun.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you for having us. And what a
yes. And so every time I look at the pictures on Facebook, my heart is full at what you guys are doing, how you're pouring into their lives, how you're making sure that they'll just be an asset, to God's entire universe. So I honor you for that.
Thank you.
I'm honored too. Thank you for taking your time. And so they're here on a Wednesday night. I was like, I promise you're going to be done at 10. I promise. So that's why you guys love Personified to close out the month of February. You guys are walking love for me. You're a walking example of how a man and a woman will bring family together and love on them so they can then love on others. So thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Jason and Brisa. So you guys don't know this, and I don't even know if you remember this, Jason. I don't know. So, and I almost shared this story a couple of times in our groups, right, in GLP. When we were at Speak and Write, at that first night we were in VIP, we had to group up. I ended up in a group with Jason. It was me, Jason, and one and Coach. She was Coach. If you remember, she was a coach, and she had breathing problems. She was there. We were in a group, and Jason, one of the things that you said, you and I don't remember the words exactly, but this was my takeaway. He was like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like, this stuff is so weird. What's happening is so weird. Like, this is not stuff that I do, but I'm here with my girl. And I'm going to support her with anything that she is doing. And I watched you like I kept running into you guys. And I would always notice and always speak. And I'm like, they might think I'm weird, but I was like drawn to you guys, like, hey. And because I watched you, Jason, like be almost like a fish out of water.
Oh, yeah.
Before Brisa. You were for Brisa.
I absolutely was. I tell you what, I don't mean to cut you off, but
go.
Jumping into that type of atmosphere for me was completely outside of my realm. It was Lisa Nichols, the Lisa Nichols event. I'm sure everybody knows who Lisa Nichols is. For me, I've been in the construction industry my whole life. And I was a roughneck. I'm like, this is not what I'm used to. But, I did. I showed up in support of her, not knowing how much I needed that for myself.
Yes. And
I cherish that day so much because it has opened my eyes to so much.
Yes. Yes. Joy, can you bring up the picture? This is love personified. This is love personified. Jason and Brisa, individually brilliant on their own, but together, something to be reckoned with. I love it, right? Individually, but then greater together. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you, because I remember that day. I remember being in the room of all these people. I was like, what is happening myself? I had only heard of Lisa Nichols recently before I've got to be here. And I resonated with you when you was like, I don't know about all of this, and I heard you and I felt you, and I hadn't seen Brisa yet. Heard and felt you when you said, but I'm here to support her. I'm going to support her. And I've watched that develop and grow and what you guys are doing to make your dreams come true. And it just blesses my heart every time. I see it.
Thank you for that. We
Thank
received
you
that.
so much, Catherine.
Thank you for having us. We're so blessed to be on this journey with you.
Just to be around people like you
Absolutely.
guys has been amazing.
Yeah. Amen. Joy, what you got to say, Doc? What you got to say?
Oh, I was looking to see was my mic muted and was thinking, did they hear what I just said? No, seriously. I'm excited to be here. And of course, I'm always going to come from the self-care pocket. And as we talk about this idea of love, right? You can't love yourself. You can't love others well unless you love yourself well. And we know that to be true. So I'm just excited to be here tonight and to see what unfolds. Looking forward to hearing from the lovely couples. So let's get this party started.
Let's get the party started. Let's get the party started. Let's get the party started. All right. Here we go. How do you define love? Brisa Jason, how do you define love?
Oh man, that is a loaded question. It could be everything. It's powerful. The smallest word, the most power. Sometimes when they say the shortest people pack the biggest punch, right?
Yeah.
That little word,
The
smallest word, love,
Yes.
it packs the biggest punch. I mean, it's so complex and it's so simple and it's limitless.
I agree. And life is all about love. It's our reason for being here. It's compassion, it's joy, it's abundance. It's it's what makes us feel alive.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. It's what really makes us feel alive.
For me, it's such a powerful word that I feel like sometimes it gets thrown around kind of loosely, and we sometimes have to remember to respect the word and understand the meaning behind it. And once we do, we won't offer that out lightly. And when we do offer it, it is for a reason, and we do it out of our not just our heart, but our soul, our whole being, everything. And I think that once we understand the word in the deepest meaning, we're able to feel the word love even deeper.
Absolutely. Yes. And I think if you absolutely truly know how to love yourself first, then you understand what that word is all about, and it allows you to love other people. Just like Dr. Joy said, you can't love somebody else until you truly learn how to love yourself. And I think once you do, that's when you really understand how powerful that word is, and what life is truly all about.
Right. So the freedom that comes in loving me, right? Right. The freedom and the power, the liberty that comes. Like, the more we I'm okay with this girl. Right? You look in the mirror and it's all disheveled and this, that, and the other. You be like, girl, you bad.
Yes. The freedom, I think that's a huge word.
Yes.
That's a beautiful word to describe love.
Yes. Love is freedom.
Yes.
Thank you guys. Brandy and Ryan, what is love?
I think love is commitment. Sacrifice.
Yes.
And I agree with Jason and Brisa. You can't just throw that around. I remember having conversations, on the phone as a teen, caking, as the kids call it now, late at night, and happen to use that word, but you don't know the value of it.
Really didn't mean it because he didn't know me then. So.
Yes.
It's true. You're unable to quantify it until you get older and you learn the value. And I didn't realize the true essence and true value until we got together. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but it's true. When I saw Brandy, I knew that she was going to be my wife. I know, in fact, God had told me that she was going to be my wife.
Wow.
And once I received that, I went out and got it. It's the ultimate truth.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But love is not easy though, right? You know, when we talk about how beautiful it is and how to receive it, it's freedom. But when you're loving yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly, that's not always easy.
Yeah.
Right? The hard parts. And I know Ryan saying him coming to get me, or acquiring and us getting together, love was hard. It was challenging.
Yeah.
You know, it was accepting each other for who we were, who we are, who we will be. But I would say, I don't know, it was hard for me to receive his love, because when I was receiving his love, I was still understanding how to love me. Right. So it's like, trying to pick up my broken pieces and, deal with my baggage. And then here he comes loving on me. And I'm like, hey, what's going on here? I'm trying to fix me, loving on me. But ultimately love is, triumphing and seeing each other through the challenges and rolling up your sleeves and saying, hey, I'm committed, and I'm going to recommit to this thing every single day. I'm not going to let you go. And I think that's what made me like really, dig my heels in. Yeah.
Yes.
I got you. Not going to let you go.
I'm not going to let you go.
Not going to let you go.
And
go for it. Go for it. No, go for it.
I was going to say, and I think that, not to go preachy, but when I was thinking about what love is, I honestly think the Bible defines it the best way. Like I think, and we use this when we got married. Our scripture was 1 Corinthians 13:4. What love is, and I just want to read it because it is what love is. Love is patient. Love is kind. Right? It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. No record of wrongs. It's no record of wrongs.
That's 3 times.
but you know what? That's not for him. That was for me.
Yeah.
That was for me. It keeps no record of wrongs, and so reminding myself that that's what love is not, keeping records of wrong. It doesn't keep a record of wrongs. It says, I'm going to forgive you the way that Christ forgives me. And that is 70 times, 7 times, 7 times. I'm forgiving you because there's nothing that you can do, right? Like Christ said, that can separate us from him. It's nothing that you can do that can separate me from you, right? That's how much I love you. That's that agape love, unconditional.
That's a Selah moment. That's just the moment where we just stop and let it bathe all over us.
Just let it soak in. Just let it soak in.
Let it soak. It's one of those moments where you say, thank you for that gift. Love is such a gift. It is a gift we give ourselves. And when we give it to ourselves, it's automatically given to others. And so it's interesting because my book is entitled Self-Love, a gift you give yourself. And often in my journey with the book, I've had to explain to people that self-love is not selfish. That's not selfishness at all. That is a necessity to be well, to be whole. And when we fail to do that, it's those broken pieces that never get picked up that Brandy talked about. Right? Those broken pieces stay there. So, wow, thank you guys for that. I can just we almost end the show right there. What is love? But here we go. Why do you love? Whoever wants to jump in and take that. Why?
Can I go? I'm
yes, please.
To go for this because you know what? I totally resonate with what Brandy was saying. And like you said, Dr. Catherine, love is a gift. Yes. Love is truly a gift. Yes. I didn't learn how to love until I was 32 years old. I'm 39 now. Because for the first 32 years, I didn't love myself. Yes. I went through so much as a child, and I brought that into my adulthood. As a child, I went through a household with drugs and alcohol. Yes. My mom was selling her body on the street to pay for her drug habit. So I grew up as a young adult without the value of having a loving relationship, without the value of knowing how a father is supposed to love his sons, about how a husband is supposed to love his wife. So until I worked on myself and truly learned how to love myself, was I able to start learning how to love someone else.
Yeah.
And it's funny, mine and Brisa's relationship, but we've known each other since we were 15 years old.
Oh, wow.
And we were just recently engaged. We've been together for 2 years, and this all happened for a reason, because when we were 15, I was already looking at Brisa like, man, you know what? She is, I got to have that. I got to have that. And there was no way, because I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know I didn't know what love was.
Yeah.
So this all happened for a greater purpose. We met each other way back, in high school, and then we came together after, we led our lives, and I had to really truly fix myself before I was able to love her and have something like this. So I completely resonate with Brandy. I had to work on myself, and it took a long time. It took a long time for me to work on myself.
I resonate with Brandy also, because when he was going through all that, I was going through my own battle with myself. I had a stroke, less than 1% chance of recovery. Doctors gave my family the worst possible odds. I had a severe stroke with locked-in syndrome. So essentially I was locked in my own body and with no hopes to recover. So as I decided that I was going to recover and I worked at it, I also had to fall in love with myself again, because now I was in this body that I don't recognize, and I couldn't move. At one point I couldn't move both sides of my body. And then later one side came back to me and the left side came back later. But during that transition, the recovery transition, it was really hard for me to love myself, because what I looked at in the mirror, what I saw in the mirror was not who I remembered I was. And even in our ugly, we have to love ourselves. And I didn't understand that. And I needed to slowly learn how to celebrate myself again. Yes. So every time I did something in my recovery, whether it be a tiny little pinky move, or, I was able to take a few steps when I was, breathing and living on my own again, when I started dating again. And when this is years later, after I started dating again, I would be standing in front of a man, like across from dinner, and I'm like in my 30s. So I'm thinking, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm physically better now. A couple things here and there, I'm still working on, but I was still not in love with myself. So because I was not attracting love. And so the people that were in front of me were judgmental, didn't understand me, immediately saw my deficits.
You were putting energy
because
out
I
there.
put that out there. All I was doing was, I hope they don't notice this. I hope they don't notice that. What if they notice my scar on my neck? And what if they notice that I stutter, or I'm slow, or I limp, or anything? I put all of that energy out there. And as a result, I attracted more of it. So once I started loving myself and realizing that I am a gift from God, and God gave me a gift to love and love myself. And that is a gift. And just like a gift, it only becomes a gift when you unwrap it and make it your own.
Yes.
And I didn't want to do that. I just kind of kept that gift on the shelf. And I was like, I'll unwrap that once I'm better.
Yeah.
But that I needed to unwrap it now and see what was inside now, so that I can live in my greatness and start to attract and live in love. So that's what I did.
Recently,
it is a reason for loving, because it is joy, it's happiness, it is what life is all about. Yeah. And if we can love each other for who we are, for our authentic selves, then you know what? That's what it's all about.
That's when you attract.
And that's why we love.
Oh, all these places I could just stop and sit. I love it. I love it. Love is so soothing, right? It's soothing. It's just like the acceptance. Brisa, you made the statement. You said, and we got our resident scribe in the chat, so she's capturing it. And Letitia says, even in our ugly, we have to love ourselves. Even in our ugly, we've got to love ourselves. Like all of us, we love all of it, the whole kit and caboodle, that which people see and that which they don't see, that which we will, utter, and things that we'll never let come out.
Can I elaborate on that a little bit?
Go for it.
I don't mean to steal the mic.
Look, we can go back and forth, jump in, jump out. Yes, go for it.
So when I actually learned how to show myself that I had some love towards myself is actually when I started to change, when I started to see the light within my life. When I was 15 years old, I attempted suicide. And then I suppressed that inside of me. I suppressed those feelings for years and years and years. My mom passed away when I was 26 years old, and I never rekindled that relationship with her because I was so angry. I was so mad. And then when she passed away, now I lived with that guilt because I never let her back in. For the last 8 years of her life, she lived a sober life. And she always tried to mend our relationship. And I never let her in because I was so upset with her. So 6 years after she passed away, when I was 32 years old, I went down to her gravesite. And I told her every single thing that I wanted to tell her as a child. I told her everything that I wanted to tell her as an adult. I screamed, I cried, I yelled, I just let it all out. And I gave myself the grace of being human and gave myself the grace of having emotions. And I truly started to realize, that I am somebody. And that's when I started to change.
It was forgiveness. Forgiveness is love.
But I needed to hear it. Not that she needed to hear it. It was for me. It was for me to hear myself.
Yeah, you released yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you released yourself. You gave yourself an amazing gift by letting it go. And that allowed you to walk into your next. Right?
Absolutely.
It cleared the way to walk into Jason,
it's
who
Lisa Nichols. Lisa Nichols.
Right. I know, right? Prepares you to get
right.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Ryan and Brandy, why do you love?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm in awe of God right now. I had told God exiting out of last year, entering into this year, I said, Lord, I want you to wow me. Not that he has to, right? Remember we were praying. I was like, not that you have to wow us. He don't have to do anything, right? But I'm like, I just want to be wowed by you. And I feel like I'm wowed by this conversation right now. I really am. I have goosebumps listening to Jason's story. I can listen to you guys all night. I'm not gonna lie. Listening to your story and I'm wild because and I'm in awe because I'm listening to your story, Jason, and I'm relating to it. And I'm like, wow, my mother was addicted to drugs. My mother used to sell her. Wow. Oh my gosh. The pain, the brokenness, not understanding, how to receive love because I didn't get it, from my mom, and going out trying to find it in the wrong ways. And Ryan and I went to high school together, just listening to your love story and how it unfolded and looking at Brisa's story with recovery and going through my own health challenges, becoming deaf in my left ear, having what they say, some Menard syndrome or whatever the case may be. And I'm thinking about all of the stuff, right, that you have to kind of climb through and work through and having to deal with your own stuff. And I thought about, Jason, you saying your attempt with suicide. And I thought about my attempt with suicide, a couple attempts with suicide, and how God came in and he blocked it. Glory be to his name for blocking it, because had he not blocked it, my God, my light obviously would have been snuffed out shortly. That I would have, that God meant for me to impact, I wouldn't have impacted. And this man right here, I would have never met him, and I would have never known love in its truest form. So it is an honor to hear your story and just be charged by it, and to know, this is why we love, right? To overcome. And when I think about Ryan and I journey, I remember you say why do you love? I remember a part of our journey where we were dating for about 3 or 4 months, and I kid you not, I didn't want to be with Ryan, right? I didn't want to be in a relationship. I had just divorced. I was not thinking about getting in a relationship. I was like, look, I'm free. Hey, 15-year abusive relationship. I was doing a lot of self-love. I was like, next, date. Okay, Jason, you speak that language? Okay. I was loving the single life. I was really loving it. And then this guy come along and threw a monkey wrench in my game. Okay, wasn't single for a year. I was like, I don't want to be single. But when he came along and here he is, having this. We connected. We went to high school together, so we had history there. But we connected on a friendship level. I think, like a phileo type of love. It was like a brotherly, sisterly, like, hey, he was familiar. He was such a sweet guy, but I'm like, okay, that's just a friend. But then we connected, right? Friendship, long nights turned into, I like this guy. Oh, I'm falling for this guy. Oh, okay. He's talking right. All right. And then when I still kind of wanted to play the field a little bit, to put y'all in my business a little bit, I kind of feel he wasn't having it. He was like, listen here, you want to play that field? He said, guess what? You can leave me out of it. Because I want to be in a committed relationship. This is what I'm ready for. So either you come with it or you exit stage left. And he hung up on me, y'all. He did it. And left.
I think I used some choice words or something.
Well, yeah, I can't use it for the Saints, but the Aints know what he said. He said some other stuff. Started with an H and ended with an E. He said, if you want to be, then go ahead. I'm exiting stage left. But he came correct. He said, this is what I want. I know what I want. And one of the things that he left me with was, he said, what if I am the chosen one? What if I'm God designed for you? And because of your brokenness, and you've been hurt by that ex so bad that you can't like wipe off your lens and see what's in front of you. Why don't you ask God?
Ryan.
He came. He said, why don't you ask God if I'm the one? He said, but you can stay there in your broken if that's where you choose to. And he exited and did not call me for 2 days. Wow. I called him like, hello. Hi, is this mic still on? Hi, sir. Okay, I'm ready to connect. True story. Committed 3 months. 3 months later, and then devastation happened, where I woke up. I woke up literally, couldn't hear, deaf in both my ears, couldn't walk. He rushed me to ER. Didn't know what happened. I stayed in the hospital for almost a week. Dr. James, I think you came up there. You came up there to see me. Yeah. Doctors not knowing what was wrong with me. They ended up saying I had Menard syndrome, and I made glory be to God. They said they don't know how my right ear popped back open, or I was able to hear, the nerves were able to connect. They had no, they didn't know how that happened. But anyway, we know it's God, right? Yeah. And so I couldn't really walk for like 5 or 6 months. Like when I walked, when Brisa talked about her health challenges, and I lost my job. We ended up having a miscarriage, lost the baby. It was a lot of loss, that
was a rough year.
But this guy stood right there. And not only did he stand right there and say, I'm committed to you, I asked him repeatedly, why are you still here? Why are you still loving on me? I'm broken. Don't you see I'm broken? Oh. You still love me and I'm broken. Love me right here. We've only been dating for 3-4 months. Why would you stay? And at that moment, I knew, okay, this is the Father's love. He has no reason to be invested or committed in other than love, other than him saying, I'm going to see this thing through. And then when the doctor said it's a chance that you're going to go, what do you say? You're going to go deaf in your right ear. And I said, what then? And you said, what?
I'm going to stay. I told you I wasn't going nowhere because I love you.
Yeah.
See it through.
Yeah. But then you told me you would learn sign language.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He said,
he said, if you went deaf, you could possibly lose your hearing in your other ear. And then that's when you said that. And I said, I learned sign language, and I meant it.
Mm.
That's exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm,
So that's why I love. If you can love me here at my lowest,
mm,
then I know the sky is the limit.
mm, mm,
Reason for him to love me here. But I knew that was the Father's love, and I knew that God was loving me through him.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's why I love. I'm sorry I took the talk down.
No.
Wow. Well, clearly this not it. Yeah, like bringing you two together. This was way beyond me. This seriously, because I did not know the parallels. I hadn't even thought about the parallels of both all four of you guys. This is definitely God stuff. My heart is fuller than it was when we started. Oh my God. I am sitting here like in such gratitude and appreciation for the way that you show up in God's universe. I really am. For this love personified, love walking, the fact that, I can clearly identify the first family and this love that I'm sure, well, I have been, right? When I walked in the house, if I can show you the bookshelf, it's still right here, Brandy. The bookshelf, I came over and got it. But when I walked in the house, the love was palpable, right? It was tangible. You could feel it. The same with every time I'm in a room with Jason and Brisa, and we're in virtual rooms, right? Every time we're in virtual rooms, the love was tangible in that room. Then, even with your bewilderment, it was tangible. Do you see? And then as individual people, you are people who love well. So Jason, it took you 30 something years to get here, but you're walking. It's like all of that you didn't do in those first 3 decades, it's just like magnified now.
That's right. That's right. I got a whole lot longer to love. So it's all good. You know what? It may have taken me a lot longer to get there, but I'm taking it for the rest of my way out. I'm living, going down the right path, all the way to the end. And I'm glad that I was finally able to love myself and to reach deep into myself to be able to do that, because for the longest time, I mean, I was living just in a very dark place. There was emptiness. There was no hope. And I went through, like Brandy was saying, I went through, next. I went through relationship after relationship after relationship because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. And now that I've worked on myself and really looked into myself first, man, this is what it's about. This is where it's at. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
I agree 10 times over. I remember when I first saw my wife, and I remember thinking, there's a rose, like a rose. I don't know, like sometimes you'll see a rose bush in the middle of somewhere where it shouldn't be. And I remember when I was younger, in the back of our garage in the alley, there was a rose bush in the back of the garage with all this garbage and everything around it. And not to equate Brandy with garbage, but she was that rose sitting there. And I said, gosh, she was the best thing that I had ever seen. And I wanted her. And I had a conversation with God, and God said, this one ain't going to be easy. She's going through a lot in her life. And I said, I'm a tough guy. I can handle it. So over and over and over, I played that thing out in my mind. And I knew that it was going to be tough. And I knew that there were going to be fussing and fighting and arguments and things like that. But I'm a Ephesians 5:25 guy. I have to love my wife as Christ loved her. And that's what I'm going to do. Over and over and over again. So I went on the things that you guys are talking about, this one and that one and this one and that one. I was that guy a long time ago. I know I look young in the face, but over 20 years ago, I was doing that all the time. And I realized I wasn't going to do myself any good. I wasn't going to do my wife any good. I wasn't going to do my family any good if I didn't come out of that. And I had to develop, as a man, So I would know how to receive the instructions from God.
Yeah.
And then lead my family in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, I had to learn that. And that was, my self-love journey. I had to learn how to love me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I did that by being obedient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's beautiful.
And I would honestly say, I don't think I made it easy our beginning years. I didn't make it easy at all. I made this joker go through some stuff. I'm like, jump this high, jump this high. I mean, we can paint the picture like it was pretty and roses and everything was pretty. I was the perfect mate. I wasn't, right? You come with, and I did my homework. I did, I was doing my therapy and doing my inner work and inner healing. But to me, healing is a process. You show me a perfect person or a perfect couple, and I pray to God we not painting that picture. I show you perfect liars because nobody is perfect. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If Michelle and Barack said they was in therapy, hold on. We go to therapy. We yes, ma'am, yes, sir. So I don't want to paint that picture. Nor do I want to paint the picture like, just perfect and God, no, there were things that I was doing that was immature. I challenged his authority. I'm strong. I'm independent. I don't need you. I say that I don't need you because I got my own business. I've done and that was just a lower level of thinking. But I remember when we kept having our challenges. And I went to God and I said, Lord, I thought you said he was the one. I thought you said this. I thought you said that. And God showed me, you know how God does. He don't show you that person. I'm like, it's the man that you gave me. He showed you. I'm like, oh boy. He puts the mirror right in front of my face. And I remember one night I was downstairs on the couch and I was complaining. I was like, I'm like, God, he said this. And then I said this. I'm replaying a conversation, an argument. And God said, it's you. And I'm like, it's me. What? He was like, it is you. And I'm like, how is it me? He said, because you don't seek peace and you don't pursue it. You don't seek peace. I don't seek peace. He's like, you love war. Right. And I remember my mate. I remember Ryan saying it. He said, do you like to argue? Do you like to argue? Repeatedly in conversations. Anytime you hear echoes in the spirit of what somebody else has said, and then somebody new is saying it, it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
him.
Right.
Do I like to argue? And so God had to deal with me in seeking peace and pursuing it. When Brisa said love is forgiveness, God said, when you and him have an argument, forgive him quickly. Forgive him quickly. I said, I don't know how.
Yeah.
Because my past taught me you hold on to your pain and you make them pay. You make them pay. Did to you, you make them pay. What your mama did, you make her pay. What your daddy did, you make them pay. What that did, I was in foster care. What them foster parents did, you make them pay. What your foster sisters did, whoever it was, you make them pay. Make them pay. But guess what? God said, that's not the way. That's not the way. That's not my way. Now either you're gonna do it Brandy's way or you're gonna do it my way.
Yeah.
And I said, God, I surrender to you. I'm gonna do it your way. Forgive him quickly. And I kid you not, it's been about maybe a couple years that I've been on that road of forgiving quickly.
Yeah.
And I tell you, in the beginning, it was not easy.
It was rough.
I wanted to. Oh no, I would go to bed like, I'm not talking to you for 3 days. You're gonna be in the pit for 3 days. I'm not speaking to you. How dare you have an argument with me or disagree with me? Childish, right? I hate to even admit it, but it's somebody childish. But now I praise God. It's to God be the glory, because it's not me seeking peace. I would have to say to myself, Brandy, seek peace.
Yeah.
Brandy, seek peace. Yeah. What is the road? What's the way to peace?
Yeah.
Not losing myself or compromising, right?
Sure.
Coming to an agreement or coming to an understanding, but seeking peace.
Yeah.
Okay, honey, you know what? I don't have to be right. It's not about being right. Let's attack the problem. Let's not attack each other. Let me not attack you. Let me not feel attacked. Let me hear your heart. Hear my
Yeah.
peace.
I completely resonate with that as well. Me and Brandy like on the same page here.
I know, right.
You know, I grew up, you know, just being conditioned to suppressing my feelings throughout the years, that every time something would happen within a relationship, I would suppress those feelings too, and those thoughts and emotions. So I would do the same thing. You know, I would hold everything inside and not say anything. And it would just build up and build up and build up. And then over time, you know, it's going to explode one day, you know, and now that's one of the things that we do in our relationship is when something happens, when something is throwing our energy out of alignment, because we're real big into the law of attraction, we deal with it right now. Like if something comes up, we expose it and we deal with it right now. And we have to communicate, because if we don't, then it's just going to build up and build up and build up. And we actually had a little moment this morning. You know, we did a post on it. We do a post every day, you know, things that go on within our lives. And we both woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. And our energy was kind of out of whack. And I noticed, and I was like, oh, okay, well, fine, be like that. I'm gonna sit over here and do my work, and you can sit over there and you can be in your bad energy. And then she approached me and she was like, what's your problem? And I was like, what's your problem? So we went back and forth, and then we realized, like, you know, what are we doing? So we exposed it, we got over it, and now, you know, now we're good. So you have to do that. You gotta bring it up when things happen. You can't let it build up.
It's funny because I'm kind of a chihuahua. Like I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? So he's like, he's so used to suppressing. He's so used to in his all of his life just suppressing all those emotions that he's not used to talking about it. And I come from a very in your face Mexican family, so they're always like in your business and they want to know all the things. So I want to know all the things. So I'm with him. I'm like, well, what's wrong? What's wrong? What did I do? Are you mad at me? What's wrong? He's like, no, but it's because we need to learn how to communicate together. So
it's a lifelong practice, you know. Personal development is just lifelong, and it's something that's ongoing. So.
I agree with that. I resonate with that as well. It I don't think it's not the problem so much, it's the solution. You know, and it's how you deal with it. I mean, oftentimes we do the same thing. You know, we wake up, you can tell that the energy's bad. So, like, I don't know what's going on with you, but you know, what? You know what I mean? But it's how you over time you learn a trade. You learn what makes you tick, and you know you learn how to deal with it. Because in the past, you know, we would be doing this. We would be doing this. You know, and Brandy and I are both Aries, so you can imagine the ramming that we do. When you talk about fire and going up, oh yeah, it's Moms in Baghdad over in this piece. I'm just, but you know, like I said, we've learned how to deal with one another in a great, lovingly, compassionate, and respectful way. And the reward for that is so much greater. Being stubborn, you know, holding on to things, and you learn to do that as the days go on and on and on. You know, I'm a quiet man, but once I get poked, it's all coming out, and it's gonna be like a nuclear explosion.
Listen, you were Jason. He holds it. Oh, you were holding all that in. Why didn't you say that 3 years ago at that restaurant? Why have an audience? Why are we just now hearing this? Myself and the angels. Now hearing this. They could have helped you in some time. What is not doing this? Listen, I make my request known before God. Listen, it'd be Houston, It happened 30 seconds ago. 10 seconds, we have a problem.
Mm.
People, I'm about to go, he's a detective. Honey, I'm about to go to an interrogation. I'm like, well, we need to talk about this. How many minutes do you have? He's like, I'm about to go to an interrogation. It's on my mind. I really need to just go ahead, honey. Just 5 minutes. Go ahead. Okay, well, I need to get this on my chest because, I want us to have a peaceful day. Like, I got to talk about it. I got to get it out because the thing is, I don't want to hold it.
Yeah.
I don't want to, because like I've held it for so long. I don't want to hold it anymore. But I do know it's a balance. It's a time. It's a place. I understand that, now, of course, learning him and what you both are saying, and we all understand when it comes to love is compromise. And the more you walk together, the more you grow together, the more you learn each other. And nothing is perfect, but you realize, okay, you know what? I can't disrupt his peace, right? In an effort to have my grievances known. I can't, he's at work, so of course it's a dance. It's a delicate balance.
Yes. You know what, too, for me, a lot of it is sometimes something will happen throughout the day that's not even, involving us two together. And I have to learn to openly speak about that because it may be affecting my energy in a certain way. And then she thinks, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
What did I do? And that's what I'm really, that's what I really work on the most is being more open to what I'm thinking about at any given time, because a lot of times it will be something, within the business or like, we got a lot going on, Catherine, and all the things that we're doing. Sometimes, my mind wanders and then my energy gets thrown out of whack a little bit because I know we got so much that we got to do. We got deadlines and stuff. And
then the chihuahua comes out.
Yeah, she's like, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? No, you're good. You're good. But I need to be more mindful of that.
Yeah. So love personified doesn't mean love perfect love.
No,
it doesn't mean that we're perfect without fault. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you keep loving. Ryan said it. You're committed to loving.
Yes.
And you're committed to the work of it and the joy of it and all of that. Joy. Dr. Joy, we've got comments. Pick some of the comments and let's do that. And then we're going to hear what you got to say about self-love. And we're going to wrap some things up so I can honor time. But what are look, the comments are on and popping. I mean, when I say that they have never stopped the whole conversation. What we got, Dr.
Right. So I got a reel of comments going on, and then I'm just like trying to take in all of the stuff here and typing up some notes over here because I'm gonna put it in my book and act like I said it. So no, it's like it's all kinds of stuff. So but we've got tons of people saying hello, tons of people who are glad to be here, and we just all want to shout you out and say hello. They're saying hi to Brandy and Ryan and Brisa and Jason and Dr. James and to myself. So everybody is saying hello back. We want to make sure that we do that. And then, of course, Letitia is definitely catching all of the golden nuggets. And a couple of them I'm going to just pull out here where she said, even in your ugly, we have to love ourselves. And that came from Brisa. And Brisa also said, when you don't love you, you don't attract love. And then the other, now this one right here is a mic drop, Brisa. She says, self-love doesn't become a gift until you unwrap it. So this is this whole idea about exploring self-love. And then Jason was picking it back up. Like y'all was going back and forth. Like me and Dr. James was just sitting here like, okay, well.
I loved it, right?
Jason and Brisa and Ryan and Brandy show here. And they said.
I loved it. I'm telling you, right?
Don't let the lack of loving yourself keep you from mending broken relationships. Jason said that. And Brandy said, tell the Lord, Lord, I want you to wow me. And so that was back when she said, she wanted the Lord to wow her coming into the new year. And she was talking about her plans being blocked. So I'm going to scroll down because it's a lot of comments and a lot of people have said a lot of things. But this one definitely stood out where Brandy said, in the process of self-love, God will show you. Be ready to seek peace and pursue it. And Brandy, that was so powerful. That was such a powerful place. And I just want to interject right there. Do you seek peace and do you pursue it? Or do you just love war? And I think it's important when we talk about this idea of self-care and self-love, that we have to seek peace within ourselves, because there is so much going on. I mean, like, and I don't mean that in a cliche way. Like, no, the world is in upheaval. We are in the middle of a global health crisis, collective trauma where everybody's experiencing it differently, and there's just so much stuff going on. And so if we can't make our homeostasis peace, we're going to continue to be, you know, pushed back and forward. But let me even say this, and you said this, Brandy, about you know, not being perfect. Listen, even when your homeostasis is peace, it is still work to pursue peace.
Yeah.
You know, and so just when I think about this idea of self-care is work to pursue peace. Like I said, you're gonna see it again and think I wrote it. Listen, you gotta pursue peace. And so I'm going to challenge anybody who is watching. As we're talking about love personified, and I mentioned this notion that you can't love other people if you don't love yourself, and we all know that to be true. But I want to challenge you for the rest of this month, for the next 4 days, to seek peace and to pursue it. So, and as you do that, document it from this day forward, for the next 4 days. Literally, just pursue peace at all costs and see what changes. So I challenge you. I challenge our audience today. If you would do that, I can guarantee God is going to blow your mind in the next 4 days. So pursue peace. And so again, we just got other people speaking. They are out here. So that's all I'm going to bring forth. Oh, Jason said this: when something comes up, expose it, deal with it, and get over it. Listen, when we talk from this self-care place, expose it, deal with it, and get over it. That's getting ready to be 3 of my modules in my course that I'm coming out with that y'all ain't know because I just made it up. Expose it, deal with it, and get over it. Listen, that is the formula. That is the formula to loving others and loving yourself first well, but being able to love others. Expose it, deal with it, and get over it. If you can accept that thing, whatever that thing is, from a place of self-care, that accepting it is self-care, because when you accept it, you can walk it out. So again, I want you, my challenge to you all from a self-care perspective is to pursue peace for the next 4 days at all costs. Whatever comes up, if you can keep it in the back of your mind, pull that hard stop and just pursue peace for the next 4 days and document it and write it down. And when things come up that challenge your peace, expose it, deal with it, and get over it. That's all I got.
Jason. Amen. Thank you, Dr.
Can I add to that?
Yes,
I'm on mute, right? So a lot of times it's hard for people to get over a situation. It could be anything, not just in a relationship, but every day something is going to happen within our lives that's going to cause our energy to go into the negative. So when that happens, expose that. In order to get over it, look at it from a different perspective. You know, maybe you got a flat tire on the way to work, and it pisses you off and it throws your energy all out of whack. Look at it in a different perspective. You know, maybe I got a flat tire because up the road there was a really bad accident that I could have gotten in. As soon as you can flip the script and look at it in that different perspective, you can start to change the emotion that's attached to that thought. So that's what we got to do. That'll help you get over, accept certain things that happen to you throughout the day.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Dr. Joy. Thank you so much for the what is it? The prelude to the book that's coming. The preludes. We've got can you bring Ryan up? We says greatest evening, Dr. Catherine. So that's our friend Ryan King.
Ryan King, what's up, buddy?
Ryan, hey Ryan.
He's got a namesake, Ryan. So good evening, Ryan. So good to see you. We had Justine Connolly, and she said like great panel or something. She just really talked about the panel. Seeking peace. She also said something about the panel. That's the one.
I think she said this is an incredible
panel. This is the one. And the panel was Jason and Brisa and Ryan and Brandy. That was the panel.
That was it.
For real. Joy and I just sat back today
Hey,
and
I made my job easy tonight.
was privileged to observe you guys walk out love, to be love personified. I keep saying it, and even more so, my heart is so full because when you're walking in purpose, right? So this for me is further evidence of me walking out my purpose. This is what God has put me on the earth to do, is to be able to create safe space, to have honest and authentic conversation where people can just be okay with themselves, the whole of themselves.
Yes.
So the right now, be okay right now, to make peace with the past so that we can magnify make sure we're going to have an amazing future. And I just heard the voice of God to say, Jason and Brisa and Brandy and Ryan. And the crazy thing is that we on a Wednesday night. We started 9/11s in May of last year. We have never had it on anything, but we had one Saturday, right? Early, and it's been Friday nights ever since.
Sure.
But we had about 4 hiccups. And I had to keep going back to both of you guys. It's like, can we? Because it was like nothing in my spirit, nothing said don't. Nothing said let February go. Because March is not the love month. Although March 9th is my birthday. I'm just saying.
Every month is the love month.
All right. Every
month is the love.
Yes, I received that. Yes. And so it was so meant to be. It was so, even if it was to connect you to two couples that have so much in common. Where are you, Jason and Brisa?
We're in Southern California.
Southern California. And where are you, Ryan and Brandy?
In Detroit, Michigan.
In Detroit, Michigan. Right? Thousands of miles away. In the cold, and in the sun. In sunny California, and in the snow and the rain. And yet so much in common.
Yeah.
So many elements that are paralleled. This was absolutely not by accident. This was not by accident. And with Jason and Brisa and Joy and I, we're in the Big Money Business Summit, and we got this event, and we're gonna be on all weekend long, and we homework at this, that, and the other. And yet, right? And Ryan and Brandy, you guys have the first family, bam, bam, and the adventures of all we have life, and Joy always busy. Joy just got a million projects going on all the time. We what I'm saying is that we're living life.
Yeah.
We're busy. We're doing what we believe God has called us to do in this season. And yet that we were able to put things to the side enough to have this to happen. This is not an accident. This has helped some people to take some steps forward. This has helped some men, Ryan and Jason, to be okay with speaking their truth, to be okay with coming out and saying things and to say, well, in my past I did this, but when I was a child, I spoke as a child and I thought as a child, but when I grew up, right, I put away childish things. And, so I could go on and on, but thank you for saying yes.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I just say, look at what you did because you didn't give up. So you heard Ryan and Brandy's story and his pursuit for Brandy, and he didn't give up and he got Brandy.
Yeah.
Brandy pursued her dreams and her life and her abundance, and she didn't give up, and she's here today sharing it with you. She didn't give up. Jason didn't give up. I didn't give up. You didn't give up on this night. You didn't give up on your dream of putting us together and sharing this stage with your audience and your people and putting that information out there. And look at what happens when we don't give up.
There are 3 little things that I wrote down a while ago. they're really helpful nuggets to me. So I just kind of want to throw them out there. Maybe,
Yes.
you can hold on to them or not.
Yeah.
And, one of them is you are worthy of authentic and conditional love. So those are things that, to me, helped me. I had to realize that I was worthy, of love. And I wasn't just going to accept nothing. Even as a man, you are God's child. So you just don't accept anything. The other thing is everyone can't meet you where you are. Accept that with love, compassion, and understanding. So everybody isn't going to be at the same spot that you are.
Yeah.
So you have to have understanding of that and wisdom.
Yeah.
The third one that really helps me out is everything that has knocked me down has shown me that I can rise. Every time I get down, I get right back up.
Yeah.
No matter what life throws at me. I want to throw those nuggets.
That is
Can
a
you throw the second one again? I need to get it from my book.
I love you, Dr. Joy.
Everyone can't meet you where you are. Accept that with love, compassion, and understanding. Probably. I used to read poetry a lot, and I believe her name is Alex Allais, Alex, and then her last name was Elle. And I would often read her because she was like a poet, and she was really young, and she would put out things that she had experienced. And I remember reading these things that, they helped me. One of them is one I threw in on myself, but the other ones are hers. But those are things that I keep in my mind and replay over.
That's amazing. That's amazing. One of the things that we do is we write down 10 affirmations, and I have 10 affirmations, and I put them in my wallet. So I open them up and I see my affirmations every day. Brisa has them in her purse. It's just good to remind
Reminders.
you, just reminders to keep your energy in the positive state.
Yes.
Make you remember who you really are.
Yes, who you really are. Who you really. Joy, can you bring up the everything that knocks you down? That one where Ryan said, everything that knocks you down shows you can get back up. Each one of us have gotten back up. Brisa has this amazing story. I'm gonna post everybody's website on my page. Brisa and Jason just recently did a bestseller. They made the bestseller book. They both published books and both got bestseller status. Right? We celebrate them.
We put that energy out into the universe. We got #1 international bestsellers, 2 of them.
Wow.
Yes. And Ryan is detective. Out there, figuring out where the missing pieces are and bringing them and making it happen. And
Thank you for
Brandy
Brandy
is an amazing therapist, an absolutely amazing therapist. Anybody who I send her way, I don't think for a half second if they're going to be cared for well. So, and Dr. Joy, you name it, she can do it. You name it, she can do it. The back end, the front end, the this, the that. I mean, she can do it.
She's Superwoman.
Say it again.
She's Superwoman.
She is. So, guys, I am not going to hold us. We might
stop doing things.
Say it again.
I said, stop naming things so I can stop doing things.
So we've got I don't know. I could sit here. We have to do an encore. We have to do an encore. And I'm just gonna Joy and I are just gonna sit back. We're gonna let you guys bring up the topic, and we just gonna do like this. That's all we gonna do. We just gonna let the audience talk or whatever, because this was so rich. People's lives are better because we did this tonight.
Mm.
Their lives are better. Some people got their sea legs, some people got their wings, not wings, their wins. You know, some people were able to take some next steps and figure some things out because you told your real story tonight. And so I just want to say, Devera L. Robinson says, encore, please. Encore, please. So thank you guys again for time is a precious, precious gift. I love you guys. I love you. My first family. I love you. I love you. I love you. My sister and brother in the journey. I so love you. And yes. JP Creel, you know I love you, girl. You know I love you.
Aww.
So thank you. And we will be back together. A closing statement from you guys. What's your closing? Well, no, not my closing statement. Their closing statement.
Whoops. Sorry.
What do you, Jason and Brisa, what do you leave the audience with?
Well, I always say, we kind of both say so our brand is Be Greater, and we always say,
go ahead. No, say the first half, and I'll say the second half.
You don't have to be great to start,
but you have to start to be great.
Aww.
Aww.
Joy, are you able to pull up the picture of me standing on the thing?
Yes, I can.
You don't say it one more time. You don't have to say it again.
No, you don't have to
be great.
Sorry, you don't have to be great to start.
But you do have to start to be great.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Ryan and Brandy, what's your closing remarks?
I would say it's hard to follow Jason and Brisa's.
Well, I think what you guys have right behind on the top of your head.
Yep.
I think that needs to be said.
Yep. But I love that quote. I love what you guys said. But I would say, because we're talking about love, and I truly believe it, it's not cliche, but I believe that love truly conquers all.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Love conquers all. So I'll say
absolutely.
Man, right?
Totally agree. I mean, it truly does. You know,
mm-hmm. Absolutely does.
What goes on?
Yeah.
Just remember that.
That was a mic drop.
That is a mic drop, because really, what is important in life?
Mm-hmm.
All of the things that you acquire in life, and the love that you can give to others.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Amen. Joy, do you had a picture, or we need to?
I'm looking for it. Just a second.
You looking for it?
We have it.
We had it in the
Oh, I got it.
Got it. All right.
Oh, yeah. I know, right? I'm like, what is happening?
No pressure, Dr. Joy.
I mean, zero pressure. Like I don't fall under pressure. I just literally. Oh, here we go.
So that
is this the one?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
wonderful. There we go.
Yeah. So that's Brisa and Jason's their T-shirt. It and that became like Joy, you can take it down for me. Joy said, it just so happened that every time we would go somewhere and it was like, oh, this is a perfect place to take pictures. Like, you got on that T-shirt again.
We kept getting tagged, and we were like, man, look at all of Dr. Catherine's pictures.
Beautiful
They're so
pictures.
Good. They're so good. So
thank you so much.
Joy's a photographer.
Do we got a few minutes to explain what it is?
Yeah, explain it, please do.
Okay, so you couldn't really see what was on the T-shirt, but on the T-shirt, our brand is called Be Greater, and it's a letter B with a greater sign around the B. Mm-hmm. So on the front of the shirt, there's an equation, a math equation. It has the subtraction sign, multiplication sign, division sign, and then the equal sign, and Be Greater. And what it means is subtract division, multiply equality, be greater.
Wow.
So that was Brisa's.
What's your website, Jason and Brisa?
You can get it on begreaterofficial.com. everything is all housed under begreaterofficial.com.
Just click on merchandise and
Yeah.
you'll see it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Jason and Brisa, when I was a preschool teacher and my babies would do something that was great, and they would all the time, right? 4 and 5-year-olds are the best to steward. But I would tell them when they did something, I would say, kiss your brain, right? And so that's the moment where I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, kiss your brain. You guys.
I received that
Yes.
because especially working with a brain injury, I received that.
Yes. Still come out like, kiss your brain.
Yeah. So wonderful. So wonderful. Joy, are you trying to pull something up?
I am.
You
I
are.
am.
Okay.
Like this.
All right. And so so I don't know. So while she's doing, I don't know. This was just like so much fun. This was great. This was more than I could have imagined. There's Be Greater.
Love it.
Yay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
We have hats and we have beanies and
I've
face
got to get
masks.
some bling. They have a bling hat.
Oh, we
yeah,
do,
we do.
yeah.
We have a
How do
swag.
you say it?
He never says it right.
Swarovski.
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 Yes.
I don't know how to say. I don't know what the deal is with Swarovski, but
But they're kind of a big
it's
deal.
kind of a big deal. I don't know.
There you
Yes.
go. There we go.
I like the merch. I like the merch.
Yes.
See, that's our stuff.
Yes. Look, so this girl right here is down from a 24 to a 16. You see that tank shirt? I'm gonna have that on
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
with my Swarovski.
Joy.
Be great. There it is. Yes.
I love it. I love it. We will be
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you from all of my heart. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you.
We love
Have
you
a
guys.
good
too.
day. Thank you. I receive it. Have an amazing evening.
Thank
To the listening and dancing and singing and participating audience, thank you. Thank you. You made it so much more. You brought so much more by being with us, by engaging, by owning this conversation yourself. I send so much love to you, so much grace. I am Dr. Catherine E. James. I have been created to help folk to be the best version that they can possibly be. How do I do it? I work with your thinking, with your emotions, with your relationships, walking out purpose. And we do all that through self-love, You can go to drcatherineejames.com. We've got all kinds of services and products that are there available for you. It's to serve. It's to serve us to our greatness. Why do we have this conversation? Because there's some people who don't know that they can just tell the truth, and the truth will set you free. So that's what we do. We tell the truth. Have an amazing evening, everyone. At the moment in which Abba gave you his breath, you know what I'm about to say. You gave up the right to not be amazing. You are absolutely, unequivocally, undoubtedly amazing. And if nobody else has said it to you, Dr. Catherine E. told you, you amazing. Go be amazing. Have a good evening, everyone.